Atlanta. When it happened, the looks on all the faces on press row were all the same. The expressions were a mixture of shock, surprise, and agreement. With 16:54 left in the South Regional Final inside Phillips Arena in Atlanta, Loyola's Ben Richardson drained a three-pointer that he was fouled on. He nailed the free throw and put the Ramblers up by 15 over Kansas State in their eventual 78-62 victory. That was the moment we all know that the game was over and that Loyola had officially become the team that nobody left in this wild and crazy tournament wants to see. There are no household names, high NBA draft prospects, one-and-done talents, or McDonald's All-Americans on this roster. They're just a team full of straight hoopers powered by the pregame prayers of a 98-year-old nun and the best coach in the country you've probably never heard of, Porter Moser. All I have to say is that God is good. God has blessed me and he has blessed this university, said Moser from the stage as confetti rained down around him. This group of guys is an unbelievable group and the journey with them has been unbelievable. It's amazing when you believe. I just want to stare at them celebrate. It's not one person. It's the accumulation of the group and their resilience. It's amazing how much these kids have invested in this program. I'm pretty happy with the kids we have and the way we play. Loyola's style is one that teams have had fits trying to stop all season. They play 4 out 1 in, but instead of just positing shooters around big man Cameron Krutwig on the outside, all 4 of Loyola's perimeter players can drive, pass, and shoot. They're a walking triple threat. They played extremely hard. We knew what was coming. They are a really good team. They are really disciplined, said Kansas State's Cartier Diarra. We had no answer for them. So all credit to them, they are a great team and hopefully they make it all the way. The Ramblers are mentally exhausting to play against. When they're up by 20, they play like they're down by 30. There isn't one great player a team needs to focus on because anyone can hurt you. And on Saturday night, it was Ben Richardson who did the most damage. The senior led all scorers with 23 points and was named the most outstanding player of the South Regional. It was a career high for him, as he'd previously only scored more than 20 points twice in his college career. I was in a rhythm and they were finding me, and so I just kept taking shots, he said. They went down, and it was a big-time game, the biggest of my life. Coming into the weekend, Loyola was just supposed to be the cute side dish that would accompany the main entree, Kentucky. On Wednesday, there were talks that John Calipari's team was about to make it to the Final Four by traveling through one of the weakest regions in recent history. But once Kansas State sent Kentucky home late Thursday night, the attention was fixated on Loyola. Earlier in the week, I even wrote a column about how the team's tournament run and the outpouring of love for Sister Jean was overshadowing all the serious issues that were taking place on the school's campus. The combination of student protests, police brutality incidents, and a possible strike from professors was being overlooked by the national media. And at some point, I figured the school would have to focus their attention on addressing their issues as the team's season was about to come to an end. I was wrong. And as this team prepares for San Antonio next weekend, whoever they will face shouldn't make the same mistake I did by not believing that this team doesn't have what it takes to win it all. Trust me, they do. Because Loyola's fairy tale season feels like it'll eventually become a legendary ESPN 30 for 30 documentary. Loyola has now taken a seat next to 2011 VCU, 2006 George Mason, and 1986 LSU as the lowest-seeded teams to ever make the Final Four. The Ramblers are riding a 14-game winning streak and have won 21 of their last 22 games. And while the 2018 NCAA tournament is the 6th time that Loyola has made the tournament, this is the first time they've made history since their first trip. The 1963 team defeated Tennessee Tech, Mississippi State, Illinois, Duke, and then beat Cincinnati 60-58 for the program's only national championship. But it was that team's game against Mississippi State that made an impact on the sport of college basketball and race relations across the country. The game of change was bigger than a matchup between the Ramblers and the Bulldogs. With 4 black starters, Loyola was bucking the racial trend in college basketball during that time, while Mississippi State was defying a state rule by playing against an integrated team. 55 years later, 7 black players were on the floor as starters in the game that sent Loyola back to the Final Four. #progress. Over the next few days, and the following weeks, the name Porter Moser is going to be mentioned quite a lot. In their march to the Final Four, Loyola's hidden treasure of a coach has knocked off names like Jim Larrañaga, Miami, Rick Barnes, Tennessee, Eric Musselman, Nevada, and Bruce Weber, Kansas State. The 49-year-old has become the hottest coach in the sport. The little school in Chicago that's known for its academics has now become home to the best story of the tournament while being led by the most popular nun on the planet. Madness is the perfect word to describe what's taken place so far this March. And with one more week left in the season, don't be surprised if this tournament, and this team, go down as one for the ages.